Hey everyone, welcome back to the SuperPilot YouTube channel. It is great to be back. I wanted to wish y'all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hopefully y'all had a fantastic holiday. So what I want to talk to you about today is if you are about to enter flight school, if you're about to start your flight training, what to expect from it, and this video is going to give you good advice on how to succeed and make the most of your flight training. It's a very daunting thing. It could seem a little bit scary going into flight school at first, but if you follow this advice, you will maximize your success, I guarantee it. Now, the first thing that I want to recommend for you to do is, you know that you're going to be studying hard for everything, for your check rides, for any other progress checks or exams, but one thing I would recommend highly is not to study alone. In fact, study with a group. You might think at first that you are a solo learner, you are an independent learner. Now, I used to think the same for myself, but when you are with a group of people, especially with a group of people who have a common goal as you, becoming a pilot or becoming an airline pilot, you're able to take everything seriously. You're able to challenge each other, and you're able to give each other new ideas as you're studying and overcoming a lot of these different obstacles and trying to understand a lot of complex subjects when you are learning about the National Airspace System, aircraft, aerodynamics, weather, etc. Now, it's not like high school where it makes sense if you don't think you're a group learner. Like, for example, if you're in high school and you're given a group project, nobody wants to do it. There's always one person who's doing all the work, another person who acts like they're busy, and then two people who do absolutely zip, nothing. But when it comes to flight training, everybody has a common goal, and if you are with about 2 or 3 or 4 serious people, you can basically move mountains and learn a lot together. So that is my first advice. Find a good group of people to study with, challenge each other, quiz each other, learn together, and you'll be friends for life as well. The second piece of advice that I have for you when it comes to supplementing your actual flying skills is utilize the simulators as much as you can, if you can afford it, of course, or if the flight school can provide it for you. Sometimes flight schools will give you free sim sessions, other times they'll charge you per hour for it, but if it's within your means, it's something I recommend doing, whether it's for instrument training or even just practicing landings or pattern work and getting used to the processes of running checklists and doing other procedures similar to that. Number 3, one of the ways that I have always utilized my time most effectively, especially when it comes to studying for conceptual things and for studying for the oral exam, what I always do is each day I will take a sticky note or a notepad, and I'm going to write down my weaknesses, areas that I'm not strong in, and in that day I'm going to address all of those areas and make sure that by the end of the day, before the sun goes down, that I am very strong at those areas. And if you do that every day and you continue learning and pushing at it, you'll be fantastic. Fourth piece of advice that I have for you is, it might seem counterintuitive, but I believe it's very important for every flight student to carve out about an hour a day for exercise or working out. It may seem like you're sacrificing an hour every day that you could use for studying, but what working out does for you, not only does it make you feel better physically and makes you healthier, but it's going to give you more mental clarity, and it's going to reduce stress levels on top of that. And so with all of that, with working out and putting in that time, you're actually going to make the rest of your study time even more effective, because when you give yourself mental clarity and you give yourself lower stress from working out properly, then you're going to absorb the information just a little bit better when you're studying on your own or with a group of people as well. Fifth piece of advice for your pilot training is, for each lesson, each flight lesson that you're about to do, open the airplane flying handbook and read the section for all of the maneuvers or procedures that you're going to do in that flight before you do that particular flight. Because what that does is it's going to give you an idea of what to expect within that flight, but you also have an idea of what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to perform each maneuver. And on top of that, when you actually study the lesson before actually going through the lesson, you're going to absorb the information a whole lot better, and you're going to perform a whole lot better, and that lesson is going to be much more worth it. And on top of that, you are avoiding having to repeat a lesson or do multiple flights because it took a little bit longer to hone in on those skills, thus saving you even more money that way. So read the Airplane Flying Handbook or any other supplemental materials that the school provides for you on top of that as well. Definitely take advantage of that. Tip number 6 is to avoid as much time wasters as possible. Yes, it's important to relax and clear your mind and take proper breaks, but don't waste all day on things that are completely a waste of your time, like doom scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, or anything like that, or watching things that I like to call entertainment disguised as education, where you think you're watching something that's educational, but really it's entertainment at the end of the day. If you're watching a bunch of airplane videos on YouTube, for example, anything that gives you good advice or something that is strictly educational on it, teaching you a particular subject matter is definitely a good thing to do, especially if you're a visual learner. I would avoid alcohol during this time, even though there's a rule on 8 hours, bottle to throttle. I would just avoid the alcohol altogether. Be focused. Don't let your mind be deprived because of it. I would avoid clubbing or any of those stupid things as well. That's a complete waste of your time when you could be using that time to truly narrowly focus, be laser focused on achieving what you want to do, which is becoming a professional pilot. The last bit of advice that I have for you is not to neglect the simple concepts. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. So when you are preparing for the oral exam, you may hear stories about how complex some of the questions you might get and how complex the scenarios may be. However, as important as it is to dig as deep as possible when learning and truly understanding each subject matter inside and out, don't forget the simple things as well, the simple concepts. Especially people who are naturally smarter, people who I like to call the gifted students, tend to focus on the complex and they completely forget about the simple things. And if they're asked a simple question, they may be fumbled by it, and that leaves them feeling stupid. But that's not really the case. They've just focused too much on the complex. Someone could draw a fuel system of their aircraft completely inside and out with their eyes closed and their hands tied behind their back. However, if they were asked, is the plane carbureted or fuel injected, or how many gallons does the fuel system take, they might fumble on that. So don't forget those simple things as well as the complex subjects as well. So that is my best advice that I have for you going into flight training. I know you're going to do fantastic, and I wish you all of the best. And I want to also wish everyone a very happy new year, and let's take flight. Peace out.